Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Jahn. I'm working towards my bachelor's degree in human services with a concentration in addiction treatment. And today I'm going to be talking to you about adolescents and internet addictions. We are beginning to start to receive research and studies that show that adolescents are significantly more affected by internet addiction than their older counterparts. And a lot more research is needed to find out what the effects of internet addiction in adolescence will have on their mental health and aspects of their life going forward in the future. There are a variety of reasons why adolescents use the internet. None of them are inherently negative. There are teenagers who use the internet to complete schoolwork or to study, while others engage in social media activity to connect and communicate with friends. Adolescents who feel lacking in self confidence often use online virtual reality to give themselves characteristics that they don't feel they have in real life, and others use the internet for gaming to escape from reality or to de stress and cope with emotions that they don't have coping skills to handle. While we know that the reasons adolescents use the internet are not often negative, we find that the motivation behind their internet use can be a signal to whether or not they will have a healthy relationship with the internet and internet use. For example, a teen who's using the internet as a way to cope with negative emotions and feelings may be a red flag that they'll later have a problem with their internet use. Others use the internet to create almost a new world where they have a renewed confidence in themselves, and they escape into it and feel that that's the only place they can be their true selves. This is another red flag. The consequences of internet addiction on young adults is not yet known widely, but we have seen studies coming out to show that it has a negative impact on mental health, causing issues like depression and anxiety, or even anger issues. Some of the signs of internet addiction include falling behind on grades or not completing chores that are necessary. Others include disconnection from friends and family. The individual may begin to be more withdrawn and spend more time alone on the internet in order to hide their internet use or to access the internet more. They also may have angry outbursts at the idea of disconnecting from the internet or when they are forced to disconnect from the internet. And others may even report a loss of control and an inability to stop using the internet on their own. Once you recognize these signs and symptoms, you can then use a standardized assessment like the Internet Addictions Test, which is a scale used to diagnose internet addiction. We are seeing continued and increasing acknowledgement of internet addiction as a legitimate concern in the mental health field, and there are resources available. The amount of resources available will only continue to grow with the research and studies that we are conducting. There are resources like Internet Addicts Anonymous, which functions similarly to an AA or NA meeting for alcoholics or drug addicts. While there's also inpatient treatment programs. One specifically is the Family First Services in Palm Beach County. They have a program specifically designed for teen boys with online gaming addiction, which was recently recognized by the DSM and given criteria. And there's websites that can give parents a lot of information and resources as well, including childrenandscreens.org. They provide an ample amount of information about internet addiction, about the signs of internet addiction, and about the steps that parents can take if they feel their child is struggling with internet addiction. We are seeing continued and increasing acknowledgement of internet addiction as a legitimate concern in the mental health field, and there are resources available. The amount of resources available will only continue to grow with the research and studies that we are conducting. There are resources like Internet Addicts Anonymous, which functions similarly to an AA or NA meeting for alcoholics or drug addicts. While there's also inpatient treatment programs, one specifically is the Family First Services in Palm Beach County. They have a program specifically designed for teen boys with online gaming addiction, which was recently recognized by the DSM and given criteria. And there's websites that can give parents a lot of information and resources as well, including childrenandscreens.org. They provide an ample amount of information about internet addiction, about the signs of internet addiction, and about the steps that parents can take if they feel their child is struggling with internet addiction. Looking at internet addiction in adolescence through the lens of an individual going into the human services field, specifically addiction treatment, I believe that as more information becomes available, we will begin to recognize internet addiction as a formal diagnosis, and when that happens, we will begin seeing an increase in individuals seeking treatment for internet addiction. That is why it is necessary to learn about it and understand it while you are preparing to become a professional in the field. As we've discussed, a large percentage of adolescents have access to and use the internet, and that percentage will only keep growing as the internet becomes more readily available. Research is still lacking in the long term effects of internet addiction in adolescents. However, I feel that as time goes on, we will see increasing negative effects on mental health as a result of internet addiction in childhood. And as a professional going into the field of human services and addiction treatment, I believe it's important to understand and recognize the signs and symptoms of internet addiction in adolescence so that treatment can begin as early as possible to try to stop and prevent the problem. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.